Ha! Debated with the clickbait title. But now you're here, and the sultry sound of my nasally voice is too alluring for you to switch off. But still, my last free day to write is tomorrow, so I wanted to get this one last write-up in. Actually, my last free day is today, and I should be calling moving companies, but my wife is being nice and not yelling at me for failing to do that. Anyway, here's my tier list of stupid Project Diablo 2 arguments. In tier 1 for really stupid, it's the use of the word viable. Viability, like all these, is going to be a subjective term, and I have a particular problem with this one because the technical definition of viable is just capable of success. But everyone uses it to mean something, well, it means it isn't S-tier clear speed anymore. You know, think about what you'd want from an S-tier map class. What, 250% density plus, 10 to 15% extra life, and you can still slam it out in like, what, 6-7 minutes? Okay, cool. Well, if I nerf that class so it does the same map in 10 minutes, is that no longer viable? 15 minutes? 20 minutes? Because that damn class is still viable if it clears the map at all, much less in 15 minutes. You know, looking at you, multi-shot. So just be aware of all the complaints about nerfs, because at most, from what I've seen in the beta testing, is everything can clear most tier 3 maps in under 15 if you're booking it. I mean, PD2 is built on variety, and nothing is truly not viable. Which brings me to my next hated argument. I'm going to call it McClass. I can't describe this other than just McClass, because it basically boils down to deception about something because you like a class. The argument will take 100 different forms, whether it's imbalanced between McClass and some other class, or how McClass is not accessible anymore, or how McClass is now expensive. The problem is, the person is generally throwing out any argument they can in hopes that it sticks, when in reality the argument they're making is, I like the class, please don't touch it, which isn't a good argument, so they don't use it. For example, I have 2 anecdotal situations where this has probably happened to you guys in real life. You know, everyone has probably taken a class with that one person who asks questions constantly in class to show how smart they are. We call them gunners in law school. Any question they ask, even if relevant about the case we were studying, was nonsense. Because the question they want to ask is, if I raise my hand enough, will you, Mr. Well-Connected Professor, remember me later and give me a job recommendation when I graduate? And you might say, well, what's wrong with that? And it's that it wasted all of our time in class when we just wanted to get our shit done and move on. This is actually one of the many reasons I had to leave my first law school, because my friends kept pushing me to yell at the gunners, and I did so with gusto. Another real-life example of this person is like when your significant other or your roommate or wherever you're living with doesn't do one of their chores. So you say, hey, you didn't take out the trash, clean the dishes, or change the litter boxes. But in fact, they did clean the litter boxes. So what does that person do? They lash out and they say, how dare you accuse me of not cleaning the litter boxes? But they ignore the other 2 things they didn't do. We do this all the time in real life, and in real life, it's fine, you talk it out, but with the anonymity of the internet and the rage that comes with these class changes, people just don't do that. This is how the McClass person argues, because you're going to see 5 arguments from all different angles to disguise the fact they're just advocating for a build. And the only real way to deal with these people is either ignore them or just keep calling out the goalpost moving every time and dig in. The next one, the casual argument. Well, we did a whole video on this, so I'll keep it short, but anytime someone even mentions thinking about the casuals, they need to define that term. Period. They cannot go anywhere without defining this amorphous nonsense term that is casuals. You know, it's the problem of who's crazy on the road. Well, anyone driving faster than you is crazy. Anyone driving slower than you is a grandma. You know, treat this like a political debate on a hot social topic. You have to force the person to define the term they're pushing, or you can't go anywhere. You know, I support the right to choose. Okay, to when? Well, I support the right to life. Okay, under what circumstances? You know, you have to let me know what you even support before I can even figure out if we're having a discussion or if I'm just being yelled at. Next, I forgot to do tiers. This is in tier D for dumbass. Caters to streamers. God, I hate this one. The caters to streamer argument is dumb for the same reason the McClass argument is. The person will throw out any argument until one sticks, and then they'll bring up the one you glossed over like they trapped you. Maps to Players 3. Well, that caters to streamers because they can stream more content for longer. Maps to Players 5 drops. Well, that caters to streamers because they can do more GG Slam videos. Classes buffed. That's more GG Omega tier clearer videos for the streamers. Classes nerfed. Well, it was the streamers who didn't want competition. It's essentially like a conspiracy theorist where everything completes the conspiracy. 9/11 was an inside job, and it was a controlled demolition by the US government that killed 3,000 people to start a war. Okay, so why was the loose change guy not killed? Like, you say the US government killed 3,000 people instantly, but some dude on YouTube with grainy footage was kept alive and his video was allowed to circulate. Why? Well, that's because the government needed controlled opposition to make the truthers look like conspiracy theorists, you sheep. Nothing works because everything confirms the conspiracy theory. I wish mods would honestly just ban these people because there really is no debating them. And if you ever do run into one of these people, or a 9/11 truther, just do the Christopher Hitchens thing and don't talk to them. This last one, D2R's graphics or gameplay or somehow the update to it makes it a better game. Well, you won't find this much on the PD2 pages, but if you become a low-tier YouTuber, you will get PMs about it. Just remind the person they're a loser, screenshot it, and post it to your followers for them to laugh at. So that completes my tier list on dumb PD2 arguments. While I'm on my break, stay strong, and don't be afraid to call shitheads out. Later, guys.